In the headlines of VTV News, National Assembly discusses draft law on justice for minors. Measures taken to boost coffee brands. And Danish Prime Minister assaulted in Copenhagen.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News. Now, here's the top news of the hour. On Saturday, the National Assembly split into groups to discuss the draft law on justice for minors. This proposed legislation aims to establish a unified legal framework for the juvenile justice system to enhance the education and supervision of juvenile offenders through a more comprehensive and professional approach.
Deputies agreed with new provisions such as utilizing diversion instead of traditional justice measures and implementing friendly procedural process tailored to the age and psychology of minors. They also contributed ideas to refine these provisions further.
Article 36 encompasses 12 diversion measures, including apologizing to the victim. The current punishment for school children involved in fines has been severe, resulting in school dropouts. However, without implementing any measures, the situation will persist. I believe that offering apologies to the victim could help resolve this issue.
I agree that implementing friendly procedures is crucial. However, we must also pay attention to the conduct of participants in procedural processes. The draft law outlines the process, but does not regulate the attitudes and behaviors of those involved.
Some deputies proposed including specific parental responsibilities regarding financial fines for minors without collateral and electronic monitoring measures. Also this morning, the National Assembly deliberated on the draft amended law on prevention and combat of human trafficking and heard reports on the UK and Northern Ireland's accession to the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Prime Minister Phie has chaired a meeting with the government standing committee to propose effective solutions to control inflation, promote growth, and ensure major economic balances. Over the past 5 months, the country's economic, social, production, and business activities have continued to recover positively. After hearing the discussion's viewpoints, Prime Minister Phie requested ministries, branches, localities, and enterprises focus on implementing two important goals: GDP growth of 6 to 6.5%, average CPI increase of 4 to 4.5%, macroeconomic stability, and ensuring major economic balances. Regarding the guiding and operating principles, the Prime Minister emphasized the need to proactively analyze and identify issues early, from afar, from the grassroots and the starting point. Along with assigning specific tasks to ministries, branches, and localities, the Prime Minister suggested that it is necessary to continue reviewing institutional obstacles and bottlenecks to focus on this important task. Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi are two cities in the top 15 fastest growing global hubs, according to Savills, a British real estate services company. Ho Chi Minh City is ranked second and Hanoi is ranked sixth, based on the Growth Hub Index, which forecasts the economic aspects of 230 cities until 2033. Ho Chi Minh City's growth is driven by an increase in high-income households. Hanoi's prospects are based on increasing personal wealth and an expanding middle class. This report only focuses on the group of cities with a GDP of $50 billion or more in 2023. Bengaluru in India leads the fast-growing cities group. Vietnam's primary coffee exports are raw beans, which yield low prices. The positioning of the Vietnamese coffee brands also lags in export volume. Thus, businesses and farmers in the Central Highlands now focus on building brands and enhancing quality to facilitate exports to major markets.
In mid-March this year, the first 40 tons of organic coffee from Central Highlands were exported to Japan. Processed at factory to meet stringent standards required by demanding markets, this milestone signals a significant opportunity for collaboration in sales of premium organic coffee products in potential markets such as Japan and Europe.
Our goal is to expand output in cultivation areas, establishing a sustainable chain of collaboration with farmers in organic coffee production.
Quality input materials empower coffee processing and production enterprises to pursue exports with confidence. With quality certifications, localities can register geographical indications for Central Highlands coffee brands, ensuring international protection across 32 countries and territories.
Our company connects with 40,000 farming households, all dedicated to responsible and sustainable production practices. We aim to attain certification from globally recognized standards.
The Vietnamese coffee industry is currently prioritizing sustainable and eco-friendly development. Stringent market demands necessitate shifting production and processing methods to deliver high-quality and green products.
Vietnam aims to achieve a coffee export turnover of $6 billion by 2030.
To achieve the export target of $6 billion by 2030, the Central Highlands provinces have implemented plans to meet the European Union's certifications on deforestation, forest degradation, and carbon credits. These efforts aim to raise local products to international standards and regulations, taking advantage of high coffee prices to access the global coffee supply chain.
Bac Ha province is currently ranked as the top coffee producer in Vietnam. Due to this achievement, the widespread application of advanced science and technologies has become a superstar in its own right. The province's coffee productivity has increased by 30% in a matter of years. Coffee beans now ripen evenly as they are harvested synchronously per high-quality standards. The Central Highlands coffee products have been granted many international certifications, including 4C, Rainforest, and Organic awards. These certifications provide a passport for local products to access major international markets. Gia Lai province has nearly 100,000 hectares of coffee, of which the coffee business area is over 87,000 hectares. Thanks to linking coffee production with a value chain and internationally certified farming, ethnic households have earned high incomes in recent coffee seasons.
This year's crops have been fruitful. We are very excited that coffee products are selling well, and our incomes are way better than last year.
Local households work with companies that follow the 4C standards. This has helped them increase their incomes, quality, and value of coffee products.
Seeing the effectiveness of improving the quality of coffee production, Central Highlands provinces have implemented a sustainable coffee development project. Local farmers also accelerated the pace of coffee replanting and implemented a smart coffee care program. Having applied science and technology to planting, care, and processing, the Valley of Central Highlands coffee brands is becoming well known globally. Farmers are those who benefit the most.
In 2023, tax collection in the e-commerce sector was nearly $3.8 billion, an increase of more than 16% compared to 2022. According to the government's Project Number 6, this effort is mainly due to authentication and management through personal identification codes. Many relevant ministries and sectors have connected data to manage all e-commerce activities closely. However, there is still a significant rate of tax loss from e-commerce activities on social networks.
With data matched from ID card tax codes to bank accounts, Mike, the owner of an online shop on e-commerce platforms, is part of the online tax payment group.
From 2018 to 2023, I have to pay taxes and pay a late payment amount of nearly $12,800.
Whether accidentally or intentionally, individuals and businesses are still not fulfilling their tax obligations. According to the Ministry of Finance, about 31,570 cases are subject to tax review. The ministry has collected taxes and pursued violations in nearly 22,160 cases, generating an additional $113 million in tax receipts.
We should get tax identifications as part of the citizen's identification card. Payment data must also be synchronized with the ID.
In the first 5 months of 2024, companies like Meta, Google, YouTube, and TikTok paid more than $156 million in taxes. With this additional payment, accumulated from March 2022, foreign businesses paid $610 million. Tax revenue through e-commerce remains substantial, yet easily overlooked.
We have informed businesses through many channels. We directly support foreign suppliers when detecting revenues or contact through embassies and suppliers' headquarters.
From January 1st, 2025, the Ministry of Finance will additionally apply the use of citizen identification numbers as tax codes following the government's Project 06. This solution will also make tax reviews more convenient and ensure all individuals and businesses can pay taxes online.
Vietnam jumps 2 spots from the 58th to 56th in the Global Startup Ecosystem Index 2024, according to a report published by Startup Link. Vietnam's startup ecosystem continues to hold the 5th position in Southeast Asia and is ranked 12th in the Asia-Pacific region. Meanwhile, Southeast Asian nations ranked 31st globally in terms of the number of startups. Vietnam's startup ecosystem in the first months of 2024 has achieved significant successes, attracting a lot of capital in various areas, including e-commerce, financial technology, food technology, business solutions, and information technology services. For the first time, the central city of Da Nang joined the top 1,000 cities in the Startup Ecosystem Index globally, ranking number 896, along with Ho Chi Minh City, number 111th, and Hanoi, number 157th. In Southeast Asia, Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi maintained their position at the number 6 and 7th, respectively, while Da Nang ranks 22nd. Coming up next. Marine spatial planning focuses on sustainable development. And community tourism group contributes to marine environment protection. You're watching VTV News. The Mekong Delta has entered the rainy season, and continuous rain has helped end the drought, water shortage, and salinity intrusion. According to the Department of Irrigation, salinity intrusion in the Mekong Delta estuary has decreased in the past week and will continue to do so next week. The 4 grams per liter salinity level only appeared in areas within 20 to 30 kilometers of the estuary. This year's drought and salinity intrusion are less severe than the record levels in 2015 to 2016 and 2019 to 2020. Nationwide, the central region is now at risk of drought, water shortage, and salinity intrusion in the summer-autumn crop, with an area of 15 to 21,000 hectares at risk. The United Nations World Oceans Day was celebrated on Friday at the UN headquarters in New York. It focused on opening minds, igniting senses, and inspiring possibilities to protect marine life worldwide. The celebration called on all nations to jointly explore and make changes for blue and sustainable oceans. Vietnam is oriented towards sustainable management and use of marine ecosystem and has many specific solutions to respond to this call.
Hey, Theo.
This footage was recorded on Cù Lao Chàm Island of Hội An City in Quảng Nam Province.
Yeah, come on, ye. Yeah. I think it's just such a joy that they're able to use the recycled paper here when it comes to the takeaway bags. What a really nice touch, and it really emphasizes that feeling that everyone has.
Thanks to impressions like these, Cù Lao Chàm's main income source is tourism. While wandering around the major markets on the island, all shopping bags could be reused. This exemplifies how Vietnam's sea territory can be effectively managed and used sustainably. Many islands are also implementing solutions to reduce and treat plastic waste. They have devised roadmaps for implementing waste classification at source.
We started focusing on classifying waste at the source. The island also collects and treats waste and then transports waste to the mainland to recycle.
It is not necessary to have a good financial resources to be able to do those activities. There are localities where the directions of local authorities and the awareness of locals and businesses have created impressive and positive models and changes.
Vietnam sets a target that sea and island resources will be rationally exploited and effectively used based on green growth, preserved marine biodiversity, marine environment and natural resources, green and clean islands, and harmonious societies with nature.
We must learn more about the sea. A deep understanding of the sea will help us effectively manage and exploit marine resources. Reasonable and scientific planning is needed to promote sea advantages.
The completion of the planning aims to ensure that by 2050, all of Vietnam's sea territory will be effectively managed and used sustainably, meeting the requirements of socio-economic development, national defense and security, and realizing the goal of turning Vietnam into a powerful maritime country.
To celebrate World Oceans Day, Vietnam has organized Vietnam Sea and Islands Week to promote sustainable marine development, environmental protection, and national sovereignty at sea. Coastal localities such as Phie province are cleaning up waste and improving the environment, creating livelihoods for the community.
The beach at the Hon Yên National Scenic Complex was once an environmental black spot due to domestic waste and aquaculture. But in the last 2 years, it's transformed into a clean environment thanks to the efforts of the Hon Yên Community Tourism Group. They collect trash monthly and partner with others to promote environmental protection.
We mobilize our members to clean the beach whenever trash is present. If left unaddressed, tourists may choose not to return.
For the past 3 years, the group has been tasked with protecting the coastal coral reef and has eradicated unregulated dumping sites. Leveraging the landscape of Hon Yên and the coastal coral reef, they have developed jobs through community tourism.
The group earns income from tourism services and environmental protection. It has done an excellent job cleaning the complex.
We encourage people to collect trash from aquacultural activities, bring it ashore and clean the beaches.
Building on the experience of Hon Yên, Phie province has identified environmental pollution hotspots in lagoons and bays to tackle next.
A special event on developing a circular rice production and processing economy has focused on using byproducts from rice harvests. Each year, rice production in the Mekong Delta, Vietnam's largest rice producer, burns about 24 million tons of straw. However, only 30% or 7.4 million tons is collected. The remainder is set alight or buried in fields, causing environmental pollution, increasing methane emissions and other greenhouse gases. To solve this problem, the circular economy needs to minimize negative impacts on agricultural ecosystems and improve economic efficiency. Dien Thuận Cooperative has been selected to pilot this initiative. The event was jointly organized by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Vietnam Rice Industry Association and the International Rice Research Institute. The Vietnam National Coal and Mineral Industries Group, Vinacomin, consumes nearly 700 million kilowatt per hour of electricity annually for coal mining. Recently, particularly during the peak summer months, several units within the group have adopted power-saving strategies. These aim to reduce unnecessary energy consumption and enhance labor productivity and business efficiency.
Around 20 to 40% of energy consumption in underground mining comes from the mine ventilation system, with its main fans operating 24/7 at depths exceeding 100 meters. To address the overconsumption of energy, the company has installed additional soft starters and frequency converters. These add-ons have helped to cut back on 20% of electricity.
These power-saving measures extend to all our large-capacity equipment, including the fans, main conveyors, and water pumps. As a result, in 2023, we reduced our energy use to 21.5 kilowatts, a big drop from the planned 22 kilowatts. We saved up to $39,400 on energy bills.
This open-pit coal mining company has also installed an all-around surveillance system and GPS positioning to monitor mine operations. This system is connected to the company's general control center.
GPS devices are incorporated into our equipment's internal workings. Along with the surveillance system, they oversee fuel control, equipment usage, and production efficiency. Annually, these measures result in a 1 to 5% reduction in total electricity consumption.
As part of the broader energy saving and efficiency program from 2020 to 2030, with a vision extending to 2050, Vinacomin aims to save 5 to 7% of its total energy consumption.
The coal industry is adopting the ISO 50001-2018 energy management model, a global standard that optimizes energy use. At the same time, it is adopting fuel consumption standards for coal transport and distribution. Machinery and equipment undergo regular maintenance and technological upgrades.
The company produces over 40 million tons of raw coal annually, which accounts for about 85% of the country's coal production. Its switch to power-efficient production methods will reduce dependence on imported energy, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and ensure national energy security.
Thousands of tourists have flocked to a much-anticipated annual cultural event in the Bac Ha district in the northern mountainous province of Lào Cai, the traditional horse race. The 17th annual horse race opened at the Bac Ha White Plateau Festival this year. Neither a commercial nor professional race, the event features amateur riders, mainly farmers, on their mounts riding without full saddles, harnesses or stirrups, just a horse bit with 2 iron hooks attached to reins on either side of the horse mouth for control. According to the People's Committee of Bac Ha district, the races saw 86 riders compete from various districts in Lào Cai province, including Bac Ha, Bát Sát, as well as Hàm Yên in nearby Tuyên Quang province. Over the course of the festival, which opened on June the 1st, over 65,000 visitors are expected to attend, with the highlight being the traditional horse racing that has been recognized as a national intangible cultural heritage since 2021. Coming up next in our world news, Danish Prime Minister assaulted in Copenhagen. And Rose Festival brings thousands of tourists to Bulgaria. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen was assaulted by a man in a Copenhagen square on Friday, according to the Danish Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office added that she was shocked by the incident. The attack comes just 2 days before Danes head to the polls to vote in the European Parliament elections. The attacker was arrested immediately afterwards. According to witnesses, at the scene, Ms. Frederiksen showed no signs of injury when she was escorted away from the scene by security guards. Danish police have not announced the perpetrator's identity or the attack's motive. Indian President invited Narendra Modi to form a government on Friday after the National Democratic Alliance elected him as their parliamentary party leader. Modi met the president at Rashtrapati Bhavan to stake his claim to form the government. Narendra Modi will be sworn in as the prime minister for a third time this Sunday. Speaking at the presidential palace, Mr. Modi emphasized that in the past 2 terms, the country has achieved a rapid development and has witnessed changes with all fields, with 250 million people escaping poverty. Mr. Modi confidently stated that the next 5 years will be extremely favorable for India, and he affirmed that the recent general election is an important milestone towards realizing the dream of developed India when the country celebrates 100 years of independence in 2047. Roses are a national symbol of Bulgaria, home to the famous Rose Valley, a large swath of land squeezed between 2 mountains in the middle of the Balkan country. Every year, the area hosts a festival dedicated to the flowers.
The Bulgarian Rose Festival takes place on 3 weekends in June. The event begins in the morning with a rose petal picking ceremony to make a traditional festive wreath. Then there's the parade, where women in traditional costumes carry baskets of rose petals to shower tourists on the sidewalk. This year, more than 6,000 people will participate in the procession.
I think it's beautiful just to see how important the rose oil and the festival just kind of brings people into the culture, and between the music and dance.
The rose fields here cover an area of about 5,000 hectares. Roses have become the main means of livelihood for the people in this valley. The essential oil extracted from roses here is considered the best. It is used as an ingredient in cosmetics and perfumes. In particular, this year's weather is favorable for producing precious rose essential oil, known as golden liquid.
Every year, this festival honors the work of rose essential oil producers and traders who are contributing to the preservation of the national symbol.
In addition to experiencing the joyful atmosphere with local folk dances, tourists can make their own products or buy many products made from Bulgarian roses, such as soap, shower gel, perfume, and various cosmetics.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.